And here we are with head coach DeMeco Ryans. Coach, great to see you.
Hey, great to see you guys.
Well, we're excited about Jacksonville week 4. No, we have to talk about Minnesota, of course. How hard is it for you and the staff to drill down on what didn't go right against the Vikings, yet get everybody excited for the Jaguars' big challenge on Sunday?
Yeah, we take Monday to just hit it hard. So
Yeah.
we take it all in, look at all the plays, and see. First thing first is I'm watching the film with coaches. I go through and it's like, okay, did we give the guys this rep in practice? How are we saying it? Well, if it's not right, like as coaches, we got to fix it. First off, fix the communication, how we're saying it, and also make sure the players understand it and what we want to get done, we have to see it get done.
Coach, one of the things that you said, and I always used to think this way as a coach, and I used to hear my dad talk about this too. You're like, hey, if we lose, I'm the one you blame. Why do you feel that way?
Yeah, I feel that way first and foremost because, this team is representative of me. And it's however we look, whatever we put out there, it all comes back to me. I'm responsible for it all. So if we didn't play good, all 3 phases, we didn't play good. There were miscues, mistakes, missed opportunities all throughout the game. So I look at myself first and foremost, right? And I look at myself hard. I'm hard on myself in that regard of, man, what could I have done differently to make sure our guys were ready to go and they were on the details of what we were asking them to do.
Coach, how important is it for the players to keep each other accountable as far as policing themselves? Is that the ideal as they mature? You have a lot of young players still.
Yeah, that is the idea. You want guys to have that ownership first and foremost, but also you want guys to hold each other accountable. Like, hey, man, like,
okay,
we should be here on this play. Hey, this is the communication we need to be. Hey, you should make that play. Like, you want guys kind of also uplifting each other at the same time, but also just keeping it real and telling the truth. When, hey, you're supposed to make a play, you got to make that play.
Coach, one of the things that's always said about watching a film is it's never as good as you think it is, but it's never as bad as you think it is. And I know yesterday as we all left, we all felt like, oh, man, when we turn this film on, it's going to be, but as you went through there, did you start seeing some things that, hey, these are some things to build off of? These are some things that had we done, maybe the game turns a different way. Did you kind of have that thought of not as bad as you thought, but not as good as you thought?
That's definitely what I saw watching the tape, and that's almost every game. You win some games, and you think it was so many great plays, and it's not as always good as you think, not as always bad as you think. And when I went back and watched our game on yesterday, and first offensively, when we protected it, like, man, we were able to create some big-time plays, right? And some of those big plays were negated by penalties, but I also see the good in it. Like, hey, we were able to hit some explosives across the middle of the field. Not only one, but we hit several. And we were able to create some drives and got moving, and then we just ended up backing ourselves up with the penalties. But the positive for me, so I told our guys, we can move the football against anybody, right? But it's just us getting out of our own way. Defensively, some of the positives for us, we got them in a lot of good third down situations, and that should be in our advantage. And, we were around the quarterback a lot. Like, they ended up winning. Our red zone wasn't good enough. But I feel like we were where we should be in coverage. Like, guys were on, and now let's just make that play. Right. So the good in it, we're on guys, we're sticky. Let's just make the play. So a lot of positives to pull from this game.
Well, we know you want to eliminate the pre-snap stuff or cut down on it as much as possible. A lot of questions coming our way about it. What can you tell the listeners, viewers, about that part of the game? Is it noise? Is it communication? What is it, Coach?
With the pre-snap communication and a lot of it, I mean, first, let's start with the biggest thing everybody's talking about is the alignment piece. Like, we have to align better. Our tackles have to align off of our guards, right? If we align on our guards, then we'll be in a good spot. Where the refs are going to throw the flag is if you're clearly behind the center, then it's easy for the refs to see. So we just got to move up from the tackle position, and we can handle that. Sometimes the noise plays a factor in it when we're trying to go in a silent cadence, right? And CJ may see that the clock is winding down and trying to get Juice to snap the ball, but Juice is trying to figure out an ID protections to make sure he has everybody going in the right place. And sometimes he's trying to get it right and he's not seeing the play, and so CJ is trying to speed him up. So sometimes that's the pre-snap, where noise does affect you, and you're trying to get the communication right. So it's not from ill will. We're trying to get the communication right so we can be on the right people and protect, but there's also we got to go quicker, right? And from that perspective, I know our guys will learn from that. We got to be better on the road with the silent cadence.
Coach, I think something that's been consistent throughout the first 3 games is your physicality up front on defense in particular. That there's a lot of defeating of blocks. There's a lot of guys really swarming the football, being physical up front. At the end of the game, maybe they've been out there for a little too long than they should, longer than it should have been. But what have you thought about that part of it, your defensive front and front 7, front 6, linebackers, et cetera, and how physical they're playing?
Yeah, our first 2 weeks, we played the run game really well because our guys up front played really well. They knocked back, they attacked. We tackle well, at the second level. I think this game here we gave up, a 100-yard rusher because our interior D tackles did not play good enough for us to win. Instead of attacking, we were kind of swimming and playing outside, creating large running lanes on the inside. And so those second-level defenders, the backs, were on them much faster than they've been the first 2 weeks. So we play better with the interior D tackles. I think we'll play better in the run game, but it'll always start up front. We really want to knock back the offensive line, make the back check his feet so our guys can't swarm on the second level.
You had 4 sacks on Darnold, and you were back there a lot. He was slippery, though. He got out of trouble sometimes and made some plays.
Yeah, he did make a few plays. And from that perspective, you talk about the positives, like we were around the quarterback a ton, right? And the coverage was good, made the quarterback hold the ball. And, where we can get better with our rush when it comes to just closing out the rush, I always talk about 4 guys rushing together. So our edges, our ends, they were rolling, Daniil and Will. Now we just, again, our interior guys have to press the pocket a little bit more so the quarterback can't step up, and now our ends will be able to get those sacks on the edge.
Coach, first couple games, Nico's kind of the guy, has the big yardage numbers, but seems like Steph has been pretty consistent. What do you thought about the way that Steph has played? He has 10 catches yesterday, going back to Minnesota, kind of channeling all of that motion out on the field. And he also had a passing completion. What do you think of the way Steph has played? And what has he meant to your offense and to your
Steph
team?
had a really, really nice game. This was his best game he's had, probably most productive game he's had since he's been with us. But Steph, he's been consistent, right? He's been playing hard. I like that he's improved as well. He caught one on the sideline yesterday, and to see him just transition, get vertical, and split 3 defenders to get the first down, that was an improvement when he caught one earlier in the year. So excited about everything that he brings, just his energy. He's relentless. It doesn't matter what the clock says, like what the scoreboard says. He plays the same way every single time, and I love the passion that he brings to the game.
I know you like to use video a lot when you're talking to the team, right? And you like to show them different things. The guys who put that stuff together for you, they got to put it together fast, right? Because I would imagine you want that stuff right away. Show me this, this, and this in these different ways so I can paint the picture for these players, right?
Yeah, well, I'm a little stubborn when it comes to that, so I kind of
it's effective.
I put it together myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
you know how to edit video and
I try to get the right camera, We have so many views on our camera now.
Right.
We can see the game from so many different angles, which is pretty cool to have, but sometimes it takes a long time to get through all the views. But I like to put it together when you're painting a picture because how I see it in my mind and what I'm going to say to the guys, like I wanted to put it together myself so it just flows quicker. So hopefully I told the story pretty good this morning.
I notice in practice you'll have a stationary camera operator behind even simple handoffs, things like that, in individual without any other defense. And you want to really get a picture of everything.
Yeah, we want to get a picture of everything. When it comes to the people may see it as simple, but just the quarterback handoff to the running back, just seeing that, so the running backs can see their tracks, the quarterbacks can see how detailed are they with putting the ball exactly where it needs to be. So you want guys to be able to actually go back and watch it and see like, hey, on this one we're good, this one we're not. So they can see themselves, you can critique as a coach, you can give them the proper coaching points so they can actually get better. And that's what all the cameras are about. We have a lot of them around here.
Yeah.
It's all about just, get every angle possible so guys can actually detail it out and get better.
Coach, you as a player and what you wanted to see after the game or preparing for a game versus you as a coach and what you want to see, is it similar? Is it different? Are you looking more bigger picture as opposed to maybe as a player you were kind of in on a certain aspect of things? What's the difference you as a player and you as a coach is what you want to see after the game first?
Yeah, much different.
Yeah.
Now, as a player, you're flipping through the iPad. Oh, let me skip. Which play did I mess up on? Like you go, as a player, I went straight to like, oh, man, where did I hurt the team? Like, and I go back and try to watch those plays first and try to see like, oh, man, I got to be better there. I can't put the team in that situation. But as a coach, as I go through and I watch the game, like on a plane coming home, I'm watching the entire game.
Start play
teams,
one.
Offense, watch it all the way through. Yeah. And now I can get a better flow of like what happened in the game and what turned it, what went wrong. And you can see how you can have some major swings that happens, miscues on special teams or offense, and then defense makes one mistake and then boom, they got points.
I want to ask you about one thing that I saw after the first interception with second play of the game. I saw you on the sideline. You weren't celebrating, but you were pretty animated as the defense was going out on the field. What was your message and why were you feeling that way? I mean, I think I have an idea, but I think fans would like to know, hey, was DeMeco mad? Was he like, what was happening as the defense was going out on the field?
Yeah, that turnover happens, right? Don't want it to happen. That turnover happens, and then I just know that feeling. Like being a former player, I know that feeling. Sometimes as a defender, when the offense turns the ball over, it's like, oh man, But I try to flip that mindset. To me, it's like, no, like let's go. This is an opportunity for us to stand up, right? We call it sudden change. Like when sudden change happens, like you have to make a team at least kick a field goal or try to kick a field goal. So for me, it was let's get the defense fired up. Like what an opportunity for us to go respond, get our turnover to match their turnover, or force the team to kick a field goal. So I'm just getting the defense amped and ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go into the division, and I always liken it to Family Feud because you know these guys, they know you. Do you even have to scout them, Coach? It's the Jaguars. I know you have to scout them. But what is it about that? There's always something magical and special about playing in the division because you know each other so well.
It is. You know the teams very well, playing them twice a year. You study them a lot. It's just everybody knows what everybody's going to do. Right, and you know the staples of both sides. They know what we're gonna do. We know what they're gonna do. But then it's just that chess match of, oh, what wrinkle are they gonna throw this time? Because last time we played this coverage and they tried to hit us here, or we showed this look. So it's a lot of chess matches going on. But at the end of the day, every time you play division opponents, it always goes back to everybody's gonna do their bread and butter and see who can make the plays they need to make to win the game.
Coach Travis Etienne, running back Tank Bigsby has given them some. They've really kind of bolstered with Bigsby, adding to Etienne. It's a pretty good running game, but also there's Trevor Lawrence. I know you haven't gotten all the way into the film, but we'll also get a chance to watch him tonight. Just kind of your initial thoughts about offensively from them, what you see.
Yeah, offensively, as you said, they try to keep everything, whether it's run, quick game, screens, they try to keep everything very tight and manageable and allow their playmakers to make plays. And then they'll have some schemed up looks where they'll try to take some shots down the field. I think that's why they added, the receiver from LSU. They added him to their team. Brian Thomas, he's an explosive, deep threat guy, big speed, big guy, speed. Like he can take the top off, right? So we have to be aware of him. But for Doug, I think he just wants to manage the game, right? Be efficient with running the ball, right? Hit you with a couple screens, keep it very manageable for Trevor Lawrence. So you just have to play guys tight, and you have to tackle really well versus this team.
Has Peterson changed a lot from Philadelphia? Is it the same kind of thing, just with different people, so it looks a little bit different?
Yeah, it is. It is pretty much the same. Like conceptually, it's some of the same things he's done. Different people in different spaces. But I think, again, he always likes to have a very versatile tight end. So having a tight end there has been a very big part of their game plan as well. So it's just – you got to be on these guys, right? If you're on them and you force them to drive the field, and that hasn't changed from his days in Philly.
Coach, I always think about this when I'm watching games on Saturdays, college games, and I see something like, ooh, I like that. I would like to put that in my offense, or I'd like to put that scheme in my defense. Do you do that sometimes when you're watching a game and you're like, boy, I like that. I don't know if it fits for us, but you kind of draw something on a napkin and maybe try to adjust it to make it fit for you? Or do you just, I like what we do, maybe there's some other wrinkles, but if I see something that's kind of crazy and wild and I don't know if it's going to fit, I don't know if I want to run that. Do you kind of back of the napkin those things as you're watching games sometimes?
Yeah, I do. I think my mind is just always right, spinning on when I see different looks, especially when it comes to pressures.
Sure.
The third down pressures. When I see something that was pretty cool and it worked, I'm always drawing it up. Yeah. So, like, man, how can we implement this? Right. How can we word it to make it make sense to our guys? So always looking to evolve and get better. That's when you watch so much film and you see so many different things, you want to do things that you've seen work on film.
So this Saturday, I'll call the game Texas State and Sam Houston. I called the Hawaii Sam Houston game the other day, and I'll bring this up for a reason. In college football, they're now allowing video on the sideline. And we've talked about this, about how you're watching game tape all the way up till you walk out on the field to get ready for the game. Would you like to have video on the sideline to be able to watch during a game?
No, that's cheating. That's cheating. That takes out the coaching. Like, you have to be able to see. I think that takes out because when you don't have the video, like as coaches, you really have to put the pieces together with the still shots that you get. And I think that's the beauty of coaching to me.
And recall.
And be able to recall it and see it, as opposed to guys is, this is what they did.
Yeah.
That's why even in preseason, we had the tablets and they had the video. They do a trial run during the preseason. And I told the coaches, don't show me video. I don't want to look at any video. It's too much like cheating to me.
Interesting.
Well, you get to look at a video monitor to watch Monday Night Football with the Bills and the Jags. Yeah. How much of that will you watch? And I know that you and Johnny, when you watch football on TV, it's a big disappointment because you're only seeing half the field or whatever. It's fine for me, but what about that part of it, Coach?
Yeah, it'll be fun to sit back and watch this game tonight because we play both, right? We got the Jags, then we got the Bills. So to be able to get just a quick look, it's always good for me. I like to watch Monday Night Football anyway, or hear it in the background while I'm studying the other opponent. But now I get to do both. Watch the Jags on my film monitor and watch them on the TV. So it's always good to sit back and see the flow of games, see how they're calling things, so I can start to get some thoughts in my head on game planning.
So as you laid your head down on the pillow last night to sleep, did you hear skull in your brain as you were lying down?
Sleep? Who sleeps?
I was going to say, I was assuming that you got some sleep. I shouldn't have even said that. I mean, I was assuming you got a little bit. I need you to get a little sleep. We do. Yeah. But that environment yesterday in Minnesota, I mean, when they start that chant, I mean, that's a loud environment. Is that one of the loudest that we faced that you've been in?
Man, without a doubt. That's top-notch environment. You talk about home field advantage, how fans just show up and affect the game. Like Minnesota it's one of those NFL places where it still has that college type feel, right? Where you have this pride in your team and people. Like it was a really cool game day experience just to be able to see how the fans can impact the game.
Well, the last time you took the field at NRG, at an outstanding environment against the Bears, and I know you're looking for that against the Jaguars on Sunday. It's International Day. It's going to be a big day, noon kick with the AFC South division race resuming here. Yes. So what about that part of it? How helpful can the fans be to the team's effort?
Yeah, our fans can be very helpful. As you see in Minnesota, like when they were on defense, they made it hard for our offense to communicate that. That's the reason why we had some of those false starts, some of the penalties, because it was so loud. And that's what our place needs to be. It's something we can take from their fans in Minnesota when we're on defense. Like, we need our fans up. We need them loud. We need them rowdy every single time, especially on third down. Like, that's the money down, as we call it, and that's when we need our fans the loudest. And quiet on offense, please.
Yeah. Offense at work.
Yes, offense definitely at work.
All right, Amegy Bank Ask Coach question of the week. This is about coaching youth sports. Now, I know you're a flag football parent, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I literally had this question thrown my way. If you have a ringer, okay, if one of these mom coaches has a ringer, how long do you leave the ringer in?
Oh, man.
What's the protocol?
I think it's 4 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, 4 touchdowns.
No, it's, man, that flag football is fun, but you always have one kid he just tears it up, and he's just.
That's probably your kid, though.
No, he did get a pick six. Shout out to MJ. Good job. Good job.
Nice.
Pick six yesterday, but it's always fun to watch those guys. I love flag football because it's so exciting, like the back and forth, and also parents can be on the sideline, and as a coach, I have to keep my mouth closed a little bit and not get too rowdy on the sideline. But love to see the kids being able to just run around, play, having fun with flag football.
And we haven't gotten to talk to you about the Texans' emphasis on girls flag football and all the great work doing in HISD and all the effort there. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive with with our player premiere and being able to raise money through the Houston Texans Foundation for the Girl Flag Football League. I think that's so awesome, right? With the Olympics and adding flag football, it's going to be cool to see. And girls, my girl, she bucks me all the time, Zia. She's always like, Daddy, I can play football. And I'm thinking, you probably would be better than some of these boys out here because she's the best athlete in the house. But it's fun opportunity to see girls play flag, to see that sport even become in high school, right? To see high school sports pick up the girls' flag football gives girls the opportunity because everybody loves football.
Yep.
And why not let the girls run around and seeing them make some plays as well?
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Good luck
All right,
this week.
Thank you, guys.